好，欢迎各位专家选手。能听到我讲话吗？
Can you hear me, dear experts and contestants?
能听到我讲话吗？
Can you hear my voice?
欢迎各位专家选手来参加今天
Welcome to take part in
2022
today's
金砖国际职业技能大赛
BRIC
训
skill
练
competition training for
训练
blockchain.
线上训练营第3天。我是今天的演讲。
I'm the lecturer today, Mr. Du Shengfei.
我们来看第一章，认识区块链。
And let's move on to part 1, understanding of blockchain.
什么是区块链？
So what is a blockchain?
比特币出
It
现后
is
提出的一个概念。
a concept after the emergence of
区块
Bitcoin.
链是由分布
And
式
technically speaking,
与分布
it
式
is
存储
an overall solution of distributed architecture and distributed
共识算法
storages.
密码学算法
And it has
博弈
the
论
P2P network,
合约
consensus
多种
algorithm,
信息
cryptographic algorithm, game theory, and smart
方
contracts.
案。区块链并不等于是比特币。
The Bitcoin is not in equivalent with blockchain.
包含多种
The
技术的
blockchain
一个整体解决
has
方案。
integrated many technologies.
从数据结构上来讲，
Same from the
区块
data
链也是
structure,
一种数据结构。
the blockchain
它
is
是一
also
种
kind of
代的形式
data structure,
收集数据信息，
and the data and
在
informations are
数据
collected in the
流
form
通
of
满
block.
就会被链接
Once the
到
block
另一个
is
区块
filled with
上。
data, it will
这
be
时
connected to
我
the
们的
previous
区块
one,
链数据会按照时间的顺序
and the
连接在一起，
information
就
will be
好像
linked
一
in
部火
accordance
车。
of the time.
火车的每一节车
It's
厢
just
就是一
like
个区
a
块，
train, and each carriage is a
一个区
block.
块， 每一个区块包含了很多的交易。
And each block has contained many transactions.
那什么是联盟链呢？
And what is a
联盟链
consortium
是属
chain?
于区块链的一种。
It's a kind of a type
我
of
说的联盟
blockchain,
链是指
and generally it refers to
达成一定
the
协议，
chain for
建
the
立
multiple
的
parties
业务联
that
盟
have reached a
多
certain
种
agreement.
共同组建的一个链。区块链仅对联盟链的成员开放，
And the consortium chain is only open or part of
联盟链上的
open
读写
the functions to its members.
记账权限全部都要按照私人定制，以实现部分
And the
去中心
functions
化的一个
are private,
它与
customized
我
to
们常
achieve
说
the
的
partial
这个
decentralization.
公有链最大的不同是参与程度不同。
And its difference to the public chain is the participation of the members.
参与程度是每个人都可以参与的。
In the public chain, everyone can participate in the
联
chain.
盟链呢，它
Everyone can record.
联盟成员开放。
And the consortium chain is only open to the members of the chain.
那我们常说的区块链分类呢，它主要有3种。
And there are generally 3 types of blockchain. The first is the public chain. That means that everyone can participate in the chain,
任何人都可以记账。
and everyone
私有
can
链
do the recording.
私有链是指
As for the private
对
chain,
单位或者
it's
个人
only
开放的一个
open to the unit or individual.
真正意义上来讲哈，它并不算是一种区
Actually,
块链。
this is not it's not a type of blockchain, technically speaking,
开放
and the consortium chain is only open to the members
部分功能的区块链，
and only
开放
open
部分
all or
区
part
块
of
链
functions
它呢
to its members.
一些机构或者单位
This is used for some
运营。
authorities or institutions.
下面我们来介绍一下
And next,
Fiscal
we'll move on to the fiscal because
是一款企业金融级的联盟链，
this is the enterprise's financial level
由金融
consortium
合
chain,
作联盟，简称金联盟开源工作组打造，并于2017
and
年正式对外
is
开源。
created by the open source working group of the Financial Blockchain Corporation Consortium, and it's officially open to open on the internet since 2017.
Fiscal because 的联盟链发展
the development of the Fiscal Because Consortium chain since the June 2019, the open source ecosystem of Fiscal Because has included more than 2,000 companies and with more than 40,000 community members. It's increasing rapidly. The applications include the social games and other fields. And it also includes the medications, education, transportation, and supply chain, agriculture, etc. And it is also linked with the Guangdong-Macau Health Code Mutual Recognition System, the People's Copyright Platform, People's Daily, and the construction of the smart city in Macau. And the chart and the following are some applications based on Fiscal Because. For example, the WeBank has launched the BaaS blockchain cloud service, and WeBank has cooperated with Huarui Bank, has launched a joint loan liquidation project. The JD Finance has completed the blockchain ABA's cloud service product. The specialties and advantages of Fiscal Because it has used the technical architecture of the consortium chain to meet the multi-party collaboration in the distributed business scenarios. And it has taken into account the financial innovation and its stability. And it has included the P2P, the distributed storage, the the consensus algorithm, and smart contract. And it has provided reliable infrastructure for the development of blockchain application. This is the specialties and advantages of the Fiscal Because. And next, we will move on to the architecture of Fiscal Because. Generally speaking, in the 2.0 version, it has a structure of integrated two-wing engines. And the throughput of the system has been expanded horizontally, and the performance, safety, and the use has been generally improved. One body means the group architecture, and the two wings means the parallel computing and distributed storage. And the multi-engines includes the CRUD, the pre-compilation contract, console, platform service, business template, virtual machine, and other functions. First, we will focus on the group architecture. This can help enterprises to construct a chain and consortium quickly, and enterprises can consider their transactions and its relationships. They can establish different groups and different ledgers. Data in different ledgers can be shared. This can simplify the deployment, operation, and maintenance of the consortium chain. To make it easier to understand, it's just like the WeChat group. Several people can have a WeChat group to communicate, and every one individual can be involved in multiple groups. They can send and receive messages, and the existing groups can also have more group members. And we can see this chart that it refers to the group leader, and each user each user can have many groups. The parallel computing. In blockchain, transaction is the basic unit, and TPS is the evaluation for its performance. The higher the TPS, the higher the performance. In Physical Because 2.0 version, it has designed a DAG-based parallel transaction executor, which makes it to execute as parallel as possible. The more core the computer have, the higher the performance is. So how to understand the parallel computing, parallel transaction? For example, in some transactions, we can identify the mutual exclusive resources that each transaction needs to take, and then construct a transaction dependency of the DAG diagram in accordance with the transaction order in the block. For example, we have 6 transactions. A has transacted to B, C to D, E to F, and D to E, and A to F, E to A. We can find the transactions have a time order. And A to B, E to F, C to D are independent. They don't rely on each other. They can do the transaction parallelly. And when A has did a transaction to F and D to E, they are not reliable on each other. The advantage of parallel computing is that the transaction has to take 6 times, but in the parallel computing, it's only take 3 times. The distributed storage in Physical Because 1.0, the node has adopted the MPT data structure, which is stored in the local areas through the level DB. But this is limited to the size of the disk. When the volume of business has increased, the storage will become more difficult, which will bring cost and maintenance difficulty. And this is the disadvantage of MPT. Well, in Physical Because 2.0, through the redesigning of the storage, we have realized the AMDB. To realize the traceability by a different model, which can improve its performance. The yellow line is the distributed storage, and the blue one is the MDB. As the business volume increases, the distributed storage is way more than the MPT storage. As for the multi-engines, which refers to the pre-compilation contract, which is under the pre-compilation contract framework, and it supports C++ contract to make it respond faster in less consumption, and it can be easy to calculate. The CRUD contract is based on the pre-compilation contract, provides application development for SQL programming, data distributed storage, and with higher efficiency. The console has rich comments and good interactive experiences, which can help the users to develop, operate, and maintain the blockchain system. The virtual machine has introduced the Ethereum virtual machine version and the framework of the EVMC to support the expansion of different virtual machine engines. Next, we will talk about the construction of the fiscal because blockchain system. Before we have the construction, we have to know about the network port of fiscal because in the blockchain, there are many interconnected nodes, and each node is linked to the client's browser monitoring tools. And to distinguish different ports and to ensure the internet environment, in fiscal because 2.0, we have 3 network ports. The P2P port, which is used to link between node and node, between nodes. The channel port is generally used for the console, or an RPC is used for some applications. The P2P port is mainly used between nodes. The channel port is mainly for the console or APP and the connection between APP and SDK. The RPC port is for the query of the blockchain information, and it is generally used for blockchain browser or monitoring script. First of all, the P2P port in fiscal because it's 30300. If there are multiple nodes in the machine and they will increase in order. For example, if we have 2 nodes, the first port is 30300 and the second node is 30301. It will increase in order. And it is as access control, encrypted communication, and it also has a blacklist. The channel port has a default of 20200, which is generally used for SDK and the console connection. Through the certification and nodes, it can check each other, but it is not recommended to provide the port for the public network. The RPC port has a default of 8545, which is generally used for local management and monitoring, and this is not recommended to disclose this port on the external network. For example, the Ethereum, the RPC in Ethereum, if others know your IP and port, they can make use of the RPC to transfer your coins, which is not very safe. In fiscal because there is kind of deep deployment tool. It's called build chain. This script can help users to quickly deploy the blockchain to reduce the threshold for blockchain. And in the source code, fiscal because source code, the development deployment tool is under the catalog of fiscal because /tools. Generally speaking, there are several steps to have a blockchain. First, we have to get access to necessary hardware
搭建
resources
该区块链系统所需要的一些硬件、机
to
器硬
get
件，包
some
括像服务器网络、
hardwares like
内存
servers, network,
和硬盘
memory, hard
这些
disk,
对于
etc.,
分布式存储的节点来讲是非常重要的。
which is very important for distributed storage
然
node.
后我们会进
And
行
secondly,
环境配置，
we will
包括像
make
开
an
放性
environmental
端
configuration
口，
to
并
open
下载
related
相关
ports
的
and download
软件依赖，
related
下
software
载相关的软件
dependencies.
依赖。接下来我们会获
Next,
取区块链的程
we
序源
will
码，并
get
进
the
行
source code of
编
the
译
blockchain
和运
program
行。
and compile and run.
然后我们会进行区块链系统的配置，
And
包
next,
括
we
运行参
will
数的配置、
do the system
认证配置
configuration,
等。
run the parameter configuration, and
最
log
后我们
configuration.
还会对客户端
And
进
finally,
行开发工具的一个配置，
we will
比如
do the
说
configuration of the
像后
development
台
tools, such as the
SDK
console SDK.
这些繁琐的步骤会带来一些
And
会
these
带来一些问题，比如说
these cumbersome
环境的
steps
问
will
题、
bring some
版
problems.
本
For
的问题
example,
和
the
一些
problems may occur in
技术
environment,
配置
the
的问题。
version, or the complex configuration.
还会有一些证书负载
Besides, there will
会繁
also
琐复杂这些问题。
some difficulties in
对于一个新
certificates
手来
and
讲，
private
这无
key.
疑提高了区块链入门的门槛，
This
是
makes
极为不友好的。
making a blockchain very difficult for a green hand.
所以为了简化建链的一个为了简化
Therefore, in order to
建链
simplify the
配置的一
construction,
个流程，
configuration, and group chain process of the
提供
chain,
了轻量级的部署
Physical
方式。
Because provides a
通过一
easy
个脚本
deployment
就
method
是我们刚才说的开发部署工具build chain 完成
that is to
过程中
complete
的所有
all
事情。
the process during the deployment
针
through
对
a
不同的
script.
问题，
As for
比如说
different
提供了一些
problems,
解
the
决方法， 比如说
Physical
编
Because
译
provide different
系统
solutions.
内存不
For
足，
example, as for the lengthy compilation or
Because 提供
insufficient
了
memory,
编译的
it has
后台
provided
发布包
the
裹。
precompiled binary
在
release
编译
package.
过程中会遇到动态库依赖环境
If we have suffered from the dynamic library
它的环
that
境
is depends on the environment
是不
and
一样的。
depend on the environment,
这个脚本实现了静态
and
编译，
the script has realized the static compilation and removed the external dependency.
然后对于配置项太多太灵活手动去
If
更
there are
容易出
too
错。
many
然后这个脚本
configuration items or it is too flexible,
一些配置
the
的
script has provided the default value of the configuration items and
范围
replaced the original files as the INI
对
files.
于需要手动去部署系统合约
As
部署
for
系统合
something
约
that should be done manually,
使用了预编译合约来完
and
成
this has used the
配置
pre-compilation
系统合约
contract
的
to
一个
achieve the building system contract.
不需要大家去提前在建链的时候再去手动去部署 Physical Because 所需要的系统合约。然后关于节点目录的结构不统一
As for the
开发部署工具
non-uniform between the node structure, it has provided auxiliary
另外
script.
对于网络环境
Besides,
的
as for
因
the
为每个人的网络
in the network environment,
Physical Because 还
the Physical Because also provides a new CDN support.
那么我讲了一下如何使用开发部署工具一些常见的
So
命令
here I will
开发部署
talk
工具
about
参数
some common instructions.
最常见的
There are some
L
parameters. For example, the L
指定生成链的 IP
is
生成
used
链
for
的
the
IP 列表
IP for
每个 IP
specifying
上
the
的节
chain
点数以逗号分
to be
割
generated,
脚
and
本
the
根据输入的参数生成
script
对应的
generates the
节点
corresponding
数
node
件
configuration
其
files
中
in
每
accordance
个节
with
点
the
的
input
部
parameter,
分都从30300开始
and
多数
the
设置它就是用
port number of
300
each
开
node
始
is increased from 30300 by
一
default,
个机构所群组
and all the
斜
nodes
杠
belongs to the same
主
group.
要是用于
The F
开
parameter
发者
is generally used
用于测试和
to
群组搭
test
建
the environment The F
它会有更多的配置可选项，
has more configurations.
它会根据配置文件指定的配置文件来生成区块
It
链。
will generate the node in accordance with the configuration files.
更多的
Compared to the
定制
L parameter,
其配置文件
it has
按
much more customization.
一行一行的来，
Its
每一行
configuration are divided by lines,
格
and
式
each line represents a
ID
server
冒号
with a format of IP,
number 这个是
number,
该物理机上区块链的节点数量，
and this is the nodes in this
接下来
blockchain,
机构名称
and the agency's name
group list
and the group list.
所属的群组，每一项用空格分开，
Each items are divided by spaces,
空格分割，不可以有空行，每一行和
and
行
there
和
must
行
not
之
be
间的
empty space.
其中 IP 表示的是机器的
And
IP
IP stands for the IP address of the
该
machine,
机器上的节点数量，
and NUM stands for the number of nodes.
可以用于指定使用的
The agency name refers to the specified institutional certificate.
节点
Group list
群组列表，
means the list of
该行生
the
成节
group.
点就是该节点属于所属的群组它可以属于多个群组。杠 O 参数主要是
The O parameter
节点文件所在的目录，
refers to the specified
参数可以指定节点的起始
node,
每
and
一
the
个节
P
点占用3
is
个端口，
the original node, and each node occupies 3
3个
ports,
端口
P2P,
主要是
channel,
端口
and JSON
每
RPC
一个号
port.
分隔必须指定3个端口同一个 IP
And
下
there are 3 ports
同一个 IP 下
under the same
同节点
IP,
所使用的端口从起始端口开始递增。
and it will start from the starting point.
S 参数
The ACE parameter,
使用的数
in the ACE parameter, we can specify the database used in the storage, which can support RocksDB, MySQL, Scalable,
默认使用 Docker DB
and we use Rocks by default.
Best copy cost 支持
In the
Best copy cost
G parameter, we specify the physical because with the national secret version.
下面来讲解一个简单的示例。
Next, we'll explain an example,
网络节点搭建
the single group network node construction.
使用开发部署工
In
具
this part,
在本
we use the
在
development
本
deployment tool
搭建
to
一个4节点的 Best copy
build
cost 联盟链
a physical because consortium chain with 4
这
nodes,
个图一样有
and the structure is shown in this picture.
0.1这台机器上面搭建。
It's constructed in 127.0.01.
第一步我们要下载开发部署工具
Firstly, we have to download the deployment tools.
WGET 这个命令
We can use the WGT command
build chain 开发部署工具
to have the build chain
出现
deployment tools.
这个红框内的这个字样表示下载成功。
When you can see the sentence in the red blocks, that means you have downloaded successfully.
第二步我们要
And secondly, we have to check the port occupation
3个端口
because we have to open 3 ports, the P2P, channel,
RPC 端口
and the
我们要
RPC.
检查这3个端口
So
是否被占
we have to check whether it is occupied.
其他的端口
If so, we have to use other ports.
网络端口一般来讲我们会默认使用30300
Generally speaking, we'll use 30300, 20200, 8545 as the default
示例中
port.
会检查30300到30303是
So we will check 30300 to 30 303 and 2020220203 85452858. And we can use LSOFI to check whether the port is occupied. If after we type this demand, if there is no remindings, that means the port is not occupied. After we check the port, we have to build the node for the blockchain. As we are building a 4-node blockchain, this is quite easy. We can use the build chain script to use the L parameter to deploy the nodes and to use P parameter to deploy the 3 ports. And this is the demand. After we have done this part, you will see the all completed. That means you have done it successfully. Next, we will start the physical because blockchain node. It has provided a one-click start and one-click stop all the node script. And also, it is also supportive to the start and stop of a single node. Use the star wall, we can have a one-click start of all the nodes. This is the demand. After that, we will find the node 0, 1, 2, 3 have started successfully. If some of them didn't start, please check your port. After that, we can check the process of the 4 nodes. And we can use the PS-EF to find out the process. Generally speaking, we can find that there are 4 processes. If it's not 4, we have to check whether the port is occupied. And in this part, we can find out this is the ID for each node. After we check the node process, we have to check the numbers of the nodes. For each node, as we have just started 4 nodes, as for each one of them, it has 3 connections. So tell F demand, we can find out the information about each node, about the connections of each node. There we are testing the node 0 connection. And in this part, we can find its connection to the other 3 nodes. Besides, we can have the understanding of the consensus status of the node. To find out its status through the log. After we log in the demand, and we can see the information in the blocks. That means it's running.
共识状态正常就表示它可以正常的发送交易，可以
And that means it can do the transaction smoothly.
可以上链。最后一部分我们来看一下 fast copy cost
In the last part,
的一个部署。
we move on to the physical because we-based front deployment. And first, introduction to we-based with the development of blockchain technology. More and more developers are based on the stable, efficient blockchain, the underlying platform, and combined with the smart contract and chain interface to develop various rich applications.
业务组件丰富性产生了更多的需求。首先，会缺乏
First,
智能合约的开发工具。
as the demand has increased, there will be a lack of easy-to-use smart contract development tools. The development and debugging efficiency of the contract are low, and it's difficult to easily manage the configuration information on each node.
是比较不好操作不好对我们编写合约是不友好的。还有区块链上的区块链
Secondly, the blocks transactions
数据的呈现方式不够
and the blockchain
并不能直
are not very friendly to be represented, and it is difficult to analyze the massive or multidimensional analysis of the data on the chain.
一般来讲，区块链系统它会提供
Generally speaking, the blockchain system will offer a console.
对于新手来讲，它是
But for a green hand, it's not very friendly.
对链上的海量数据
And for the multiple data on chain, it cannot analyze in a multidimensional or flexible way.
并且针对到参与到业务的各个账号
As for the account that is included in the transaction, we have to use other tools
和杜绝异常
to eliminate the abnormalities in time.
这就是区块链的一些不友好的地方。
And these are some unfriendliness of blockchain.
然后微众银行开源自研区块链的一个中间
The middleware platform provided by WeBank is called WeBase, which has provided a friendly visual operating environment for users, such as development, commissioning, deployment, and auditing.
WeBase 是区块链应用和 Fast Copy Cost 节点之间搭建的一套通用的组件。这套组件围绕了交易、合约。
The WeBase is a set of universal components built between the blockchain application and physical because nodes. The developers can choose different systems for deployment according to the needs of the transaction.
底层是我们看到区块链系统底层是 Fast Copy Cost 区块链。
The platform is physical because, and the middleware is WeBase.
基于 WeBase 开发一些
And based on WeBase, we can develop some applications.
应用，整个架构就是这样。
And this is the whole structure.
WeBase 包含了
And WeBase includes
节点管理、
node front services, node management services, trading links, data export,
管理平台、
web management platform.
完整的部署架构可以参考下图。
And the full deployment structure is as follows.
其中 WeBase Front 需要和
And the WeBase front need to be deployed the same as the machine, as the blockchain node.
区块链的节点在同一台
It should be deployed with the node of the blockchain. the front services of the node deployment. First, you can use it separately as an independent console, and it is equipped with an interface. It is simple and fast. You just have to download the web-based front application and just replace the certificate, which is very friendly for the green hand. The second method is to combine with the web-based sign service. And the private key is stored in the web-based sign, and it is responsible for the signing of the transaction and thus providing a safer private key protection. And the third method is in the combination of the node management and the web-based web services. In this part, the web-based front is only used as a node front, and multiple node fronts are managed by the web-based node manager. And it has a Spring security system. It will record the information of the block and transactions on chain to save it on the MySQL. And next, we'll construct a web-based front as one of the separate deployment. To get web-based front, and we can tap the demand, and if you can see the read box, it means that you have done it successfully. And this is the 1.5.2 version. After we have downloaded, we can unzip the web-based front. It will provide 3 scripts. The first is the start script. We can start the web-based front service in a one click. And the stop script, we can stop the web-based front service in a one click. And the status script, which can help us to inquire the status of the services. We have to add a permission for the script, and this is a demand to add a permission for the script. And we have to make a configuration certificate for the web-based front. And we have to copy the SDK certificates of the blockchain node to the current CONF catalog, and this is a demand for the copy of the certificate. And next, we have to editing the Java environment variables. And in this part, we can edit the system environment variables. After we've done this part, we can use the source demand to reload the file to make the environment variables take effect. After we have do the configuration and certificate, we can start the node from service. We can use the web-based front script, and we can start it in a one click. After we done it successfully, there will be this code, and this is the node code. After the successful start of the front service, we can check the log to confirm whether the service runs smoothly and successfully. We can check this file
man run success
and to check the main run success,
这个关键字来查看是否启动成
to
功
check whether it is running smoothly.
这个
If it runs successfully, there will be this code in the read box.
成功启动节点前置服务之后，我们就可以访问节点前置服务
After that, we can visit the node front service
在浏览器
to start your browsers and type
输入这个网址输入
this website, to tap this website, and the default port is 5002.
就可以访问我们的节点前置服务
And then we can visit the front service, and this is the interface,
然后
the user space.
会有中文和英文
And they will have two languages, Chinese and English.
我们可以使用 WebEx 节点前置服务合约
And we can use the
合约 IDE
contract ID1 to do the development.
编写智能合约
It has provided the compilation of the smart contract
等功能，我们就
and the deployment of the smart contracts.
节点前置服务开发智能
And based on this, we can develop our smart contract,
区块链的数据
and we
区块链的
can check the nodes
交易的数
and the data, the transaction of the blockchain through this.
好，谢谢大家。
And thank you all.
看一下各位专家或者选手对今天的培训内容还有什么疑问？
And do we have any questions about today's content?
Yes, I have a question. Hello.
Okay, I can hear you.
Please let me know the participants when they are doing their tasks, they should have in mind all these commands, or they can use official documentation from the site fiscobicos.org during the competition time, I mean.
Okay.
Ah. 不可以。
Well, as for your first question, can participants use the official documentation? The answer is no.
So they couldn't use it. They should know all the commands.
Yeah, they cannot use the official documentation from the website.
This is very interesting because this is the Chinese platform, and the usage of this platform for any specialist is not to know all commands by mind, but they should be able to use all possible documentation for installing and using.
Okay.
Very wonderful.
对于这个 Fiscal BRICS 来讲，它会有官方的英文文档，然后我们的竞赛平台，他是想问我们的竞赛平台是中文还是英文吗？关于我们的这个平台，关于我们平台操作的话，都是英文。
Well, in the competition, as for the software, we have the official English version document, and in the competition, all the documents are English. So you have English version.
So please explain me. So we will have an English version of the documentation and the participants can use it or couldn't.
You mean during the competition, right?
Yes, I mean during the competition.
Okay.
对于国内选手来讲，它是一个没有外网的状态，它是一个断网的状态啊。同时，为了公平起见，国外的选手也不应该使用这个网络，也不能够去查阅相关的官方文档或者一些资料。
As for the contestants in China, they have no access to the internet. So considering the fairness, so the foreign contestants cannot look for the document during the competition.
Why you do not allow to your contestants and to another contestants use the official documentation?
Because as for the contestant in China, they have no access to the internet. So for the fairness,
but you can download this documentation for them. We also during our competitions, our contestants, I mean, when we are providing this competition in Russia, our contestants do not have internet, but we provide them by the official documentation by downloading these from websites.
Okay, so your question is why you mean that in China we can download it?
I mean, for all participants, why so rules of the competition do not allow usage of official documentation? Yes, because this is an official document which provided and
okay, I get your question.
I'm wondering.
Okay.
因为为了保证公平嘛，我们国内的选手其实也是没有这种资料可以查阅的，我们只会有一个赛题任务书啊，还有一些相关的一些这个答题文档啊，并不会有这种资料给到选手进行一个参考。所以下载什么东西？不是可不可以提前下载？对于他们竞赛来讲，他们肯定是会有外网会连接到我们的这个竞赛平台啊。对于他们来讲，肯定是有这个网络环境的。同时我们约束他呢，会以这种监控的形式啊，会以这种录屏的形式去约束他不要访问外网啊。如果他这样子做，会对就是说我们国内的一些选手会造成一种不公平。
As I said before, in order to reach the fairness, there is no documentations for both Chinese and the foreign contestant, and we will not provide any documents for them, and we will do the monitoring on the network environment.
Okay, I understand, but I do not agree with you. It's very strange.
Sorry. Just to add, Over King here. Just to add to my colleague in Russia, because usually when you're building out, right, you even go to a Discord community, you'll ask questions, you can go on sites like Stack Overflow when let's say your scripts are not running. So to her point, when you are building, you need access to internet and you need access to, like, it doesn't, I'm also struggling to understand why they wouldn't have access just to maybe, because again, it doesn't, when you are building out any platform, let's say just outside of a competition, you need to be able to ask questions in the community, and considering that the platforms you are proposing are sort of are very focused on Chinese platforms, and some people don't have access to those. So again, you're noting the scripts, you're noting certain, you know, the typology of your particular system, and it's different for other systems. So I don't understand how this will work when you don't even have ability to reach out to the internet. And I just adding to my colleague from Russia. Sorry, this is Obakeng from South Africa.
Okay, thank you for your question.
Thank you.
好，其实我们这个赛项，主要是这个依靠就是线上远程的选手，主要会看这个监控和这个录制的录屏啊，来确保各位选手啊都是处于一个公平公正的一个环境里啊，因为我们的录屏是可以看到他桌面的所有操作的。
关机喽，弄完了吗？我直接这边关机喽。我传东西是吗？
其实我也能理解，因为毕竟这个平台是中国的，他们国外的选手可能对这个平台不太熟悉啊。但是本着公平的原则来讲，所有的人啊，包括中国的选手，
录这个的视频
都是不能去查阅相关的官方文档的。 竞赛所有的竞赛的环境是下载了所有的这个安装包和一些二进制的应用程序，是不需要选手去下载任何依赖和软件的，所以到时候不会有这种下载的情况啊。
As I mentioned before, the competition will for the remote participants, for example, the foreign contestant, we will do a recording and monitoring their screens, so we can see all of their steps. And and I could totally understand you because this is a Chinese platform, but for the fairness, we still decided to not allowing all the contestants to use or to search for documents, including the Chinese contestants. They cannot also use documents.
Sorry, so follow-up question, Obakeng here. So usually, let's say now you've written your script and then you send out your network call and you get a response. How do you know whether the response is a correct response or not if you don't have the documentation? I'm trying to understand practically how are these, when they're writing their code, how will they know whether or not it is a correct response? Let's say you just maybe get whatever error or response you get. I'm struggling to understand this part. I understand you're talking about fairness, and I hear you, but when you're building
sir, I'm
out,
sorry. Sir, can you repeat it again? Because just now the speaker was saying, and I could not hear you clearly. I'm sorry.
Okay. Perhaps. Okay, maybe it's fine. It's fine. We can. I'm struggling to understand what difference having access to the documentation will do for the development work, because when you are building out something, you always need a reference. So I'm struggling to understand this part, but it's fine. We can leave it for, you don't have to answer. I hear you. It's for the sake of fairness, as you say. So that's the official line. I'm just noting that yeah, I'm just not understanding.
Okay.
他是写什么脚本？就是说，我们比赛的话是不会让选手从零开始写啊，都是我们会构建一部分内容，让选手去完善另外一部分内容。然后我们的这个训练营也是为了让选手，包括国外的选手，去熟悉我们竞赛的内容啊，也是这么一个作用。
Actually, the speaker just said that during the competition, the program will not be down from zero. We will do part of them, and the contestants should do the rest half of them. And the significance of this training is to help the foreign contestants to get familiar with the content and with the platform.
Sorry, overtaking again. So we have, it's today. So you're telling me in a few weeks' time, this is expected from the foreign contestants to have this knowledge.
I'm sorry, you mean that how long this training will last, right?
I'm saying I'm looking at today's the date today, right? So looking at the period today being the 21st. So and the competition starting now this first week of November. So you are saying that the international contestants must understand this platform between now this training and when the competition is running.
Yeah, the contestants should be to get familiar, and we will do the training for the foreign contestant.
In 2 weeks.
Please, can I tell a few words? Our competition is about good developers of the blockchain-based solutions, not about who has better memory. And for example, if he forget one command, in real life, if this happens, you will take official documentation and you will read, you will find your mistake. In this case, if one competitor, it doesn't matter, Chinese or foreigner, will forget, for example, one command line, then he fall down all the competition. Because if he has no platform, he couldn't show you how he can write smart contracts, for example, and so on.
Okay, thank you for your
Exactly,
question.
you're correct.
Okay, thank you for your question.
Sorry, I'm just calling to support her. She's correct. That was the point.
Okay.
对，其实对于正常的就是实际的工作来讲，确实是这种情况啊，不需要就是这个人去记大量的这种命令或者一些代码啊，但是我们毕竟现在是比赛啊，所以我们的竞赛的环境就是这样。当然了，很多比如说像我们的一些工具啊，它会有 help 命令啊，选手可以自行去查看。比如像这个代码，它会有编译的提示一些错误啊，选手可以自己去解决，根据这个错误信息自己去解决。
Well, usually this is the common process that we needn't remember such bunch of like command, but this is a competition and this is the environment for the competition. And during the competition, we have some tools to help the contestant and to give some tips for the errors so they can check by themselves.
you can remember this if you are using this every day. For example, this is Chinese platform. You are using it every day. We have another environment. I suggested you to use, for example, Ethereum, which is also use Solidity. You tell me no, we couldn't because we couldn't check the contestants' tasks. So we agreed with you. We agreed to take your platform, but our participants never used it. How you couldn't understand it? They should learn this command during 10 days, and if they will forget, for example, one letter, one point, something, one command,
Okay, so your point is
they
that
couldn't continue their
sorry.
tasks.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Your point is that the foreign contestants have to remember a very large amount of comments if we use this Chinese platform, right?
Please repeat.
You mean that the foreign contestants have to remember many
Yes, because they
comments?
do not use this platform. This is not usual for us to use this platform.
Okay.
This is unusual. And more, one more point. I have a big experience of participating in such competitions since 2019, since international ship in Kazan. And I were in China in 2020 during this competition, and always the stack of technology was wide, and we provide not only one platform, not only one language for the contestants, because the developer of the smart contracts is a wide profile. He should know a lot of different texts, a lot of different languages, platforms, and so on. Of course, he should be able to understand how this platform works. He should be able to install it. He should be able to write smart contracts according to tasks. But when you are doing this, you are always using official documentation. Thank you.
Okay.
这个问题我这样子吧，我下来和我们的首席专家这个确定一下，然后我再回复你吧。
Well, the speaker says, can he discuss with the chief experts about this question, and then we will give you the reply.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for your question.
好的，我后面得到确认消息了，我会在 Telegram 上回复。
Okay, when I get the confirmed information, I will reply you on the Telegram.
Okay, thank you very much.
大家还对今天的培训内容还有什么疑问吗？
Do we have any other questions about today's training, dear experts and contestant?
决赛名单这个我不太清楚，可以去问一下我们的这个商务啊，我们有一个微信群，可以在里面问一下。好，如果各位选手和专家都没有什么问题的话，
So if you don't have any questions, and this is the end of today's training,
来继续
please come to the training for day 3 on time tomorrow. Thank you for your coming.
Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.